Hi guys, so today I decided I'm gonna redo my loom knit tutorial. I figured that I would do it on the actual Afghan loom instead of using one of those little circle looms. Figured it would just be better and beneficial for everyone. So unfortunately, I'd already recorded this entire video earlier in the day and somehow all of my files got deleted. Love it. So the loom that I'm gonna be doing the tutorial on is called an Afghan loom. This one is by KB. There's a lot of different names for it. There's Afghan loom, infinity loom, S loom, blanket loom. There's so many different names. I actually used to get my looms at Joann's. Unfortunately, when I went to go look for one, I could not find one there. So I don't know if they don't sell them anymore or what. So I actually got this one on Amazon. So with your brand new Afghan loom, it comes with the loom, obviously, a little packet of instructions. I had already thrown mine away in the previous video, so I don't have those anymore. It also comes with a hook. It's not like a standard crochet hook at all. It's completely different, and it's definitely not like a knitting needle. It is more like one of the hooks that you would use on a Cricut. It also comes with some extra pegs, which I was happy about because I didn't know that they actually came with these, and it can be pretty handy. So this is an Afghan loom. You loom knit on it. Loom knitting is not like standard crochet or standard knitting with needles. It's its own craft in its own category. The only similarity is you use yarn. So this loom specific will make blankets that are 60 inches wide. What I love about this loom is it's not like some of the other looms where there's big gaps in between the pegs. I like that they're pretty close together, to be honest. Another thing that I'll be using is a loom pen. It looks like this. This did not come in my Afghan loom kit. This I bought separate. I bought it at Joann's. I want to say it was like $3 or $4. It's totally worth it. Some people actually empty out an old ink pen. From my experience, a pen doesn't work for the yarn that I use. The yarn's a little bit too thick, so I can't glide my yarn through it freely. Some people also use a metal straw. I have not tried that, but I feel like that would be a pretty good idea. So the yarn that I use and highly recommend is called Lion Brand Cover Story. It comes in, I want to say, 560-ish yard cakes, which I think is amazing. There's tons of different colors. The blanket behind me is also made with Lion Brand Cover Story. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is run my yarn through my loom pen. Obviously not everyone's going to have this, so if you don't have a loom pen, just skip. Some people have asked how to thread it. Now you pretty much just put the yarn through the center. Then you just run this right through the center and pull. And there you have it. So what we're gonna do now is make a slip knot. A slip knot is a very easy knot. Once you have that slip knot made, you're gonna place it on your loom. So where you place your slip knot does matter. You want to be placing your slip knot on the peg that has the arrow. Now what I like to do sometimes on my looms is actually paint this arrow and sometimes paint this entire peg black. This is the peg that's gonna have your slip knot and your slip knot only. Place your slip knot right on that peg and tighten it. We are going to wrap every single peg on this loom except for your anchor peg. The anchor peg is the one, again, with the arrow. So how to tell if you are wrapping your loom the correct way is you only want one strand of yarn going across the front. I'll show you the wrong way. I am crossing the front twice. Do you guys catch that? This is the wrong way. What you want to do instead is you want to go back to front. Notice how the yarn is only touching the front one time. Back to front, back to front. And you are going to be doing that all the way around until you get to this peg. the one right next to your anchor peg, the one with the arrow. So how you know that your tension is not too tight and not too loose is you want to be able to move your yarn freely up and down the pegs. Now this is the most important step and the hardest when loom knitting. So it does take some practice. So now that we are back to our anchor peg, or the peg with the arrow, I'm going to push down the last peg that we just wound. So that one. What I'm going to do now is I am going to wrap it a second time. So now there are 2 loops on my peg. This is where I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to take the bottom over the top. Now I want to pull that pretty tight, but not too tight. So now I'm going to go around and just push all of the yarn down. So now that we have pushed down all of our yarn, we are going to wrap all of our pegs a second time. This is the only time you'll ever do this. So since we have already taken the bottom over the top, this last peg, you will not be doing this one again. You'll be going to this one. So once again, I am going to be wrapping all of the pegs once again. Okay, so now that we got to our last peg again, the one just next to the one with the arrow, your anchor peg, we are going to take the bottom over the top just like that, and we are going to do the entire row. The next step is to push down all of the yarn as well, so sometimes I like to just do it as I go. But take the bottom over the top, and you repeat that process all the way around. Now that I have taken all of the bottom loops and put them over the top, I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to loop all of the pegs, take the bottom over the top. You repeat those 2 steps the entire time you're making your blanket. This is the most important thing. You need to remember to never put yarn on this. The only thing that should be on this peg is your beginning slip knot. So once your blanket is about 6 rows in, you will take this slip knot off and you'll just pull it tight and just let it fall. After that, there should be no yarn that is ever on this peg. The reason that you don't want yarn on this peg is this will be one side of your blanket and this will be one side of your blanket. What you're gonna do is just repeating those 2 steps. Looping all of your pegs and then taking the bottom loop and putting it over the top. Push down your yarn. So technically it's 3 steps, but 2 really. This is what your blanket should look like about 6 hours in. Your blanket should start coming out of the bottom, and the reason that it's not a tube is because we never put yarn on that arrow peg. So there is clear sides of the blanket. This is one side, this is one side. This string right here is my slip knot string. I'm gonna show you guys now is how to cast off. Now let's just imagine that I have, a full length blanket. So what you need to make sure you have is a good amount of yarn left over, just to make sure that you have extras, and you would rather have extra than not enough, because that is devastating. So what you're gonna do is you are going to take that second, this can be a pretty tedious job, and you're going to place it on that first peg. You'll take the bottom over the top and move it over. You're going to take that one, take the bottom over the top, move it over. Take this one, move it back a peg, take the bottom over the top. As you can see, I have no longer have yarn on these two pegs. You repeat that process all the way around, and that's how you cast off. I hope that it gets you into loom knitting. If you have any more questions, please comment down below, because I'm sure I forgot some stuff. I feel like recording this video twice within a few hours, I've probably forgotten some stuff. Just let me know if you have any more questions. Thanks for watching.